What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Investing Bros live show. It is 3 p.m. November 25th, and we've got a good one lined up for you guys today. It's not necessarily the greatest news, though, because we are going to be looking at a problem potentially for Bitcoin price. Unless you were looking to buy some cheap Bitcoin, then you might be very excited about today's show, because we are going to be talking about a pullback coming on Bitcoin. There's some signs right now on the charts that it looks like the rally for now is over, is paused. We're going to have to resume sometime in December, but just how far back can we pull? Make sure you do not go anywhere. You watch this entire episode. With that said, we got some positive news for some of our altcoins. XRP, going to get an ETF listing, also a Chainlink update, and a Dogecoin price prediction at the end of the show you do not want to miss. Make sure to stick around all the way to the end. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, but first, we got to roll the intro. What is going on, Mr. T. Shroom? How are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing better than I deserve, and I'm doing more hydrated than I deserve. So it's good.
Good.
It's a good day. How are you?
You know, I'm good. It was a weekend that I want to put behind me. I went with my buddy to North Carolina. We went and watched Virginia Tech lose another one-score game to Duke. Very frustrating game. Just another one we can put down the list of should have, could have, really would have won if we weren't terrible at football. So that's terrible. Of course, you come back. We were on 100K watch for Bitcoin, and we're going to talk about how even though we technically didn't hit 100K, we really hit a lot of the things that we predicted. We told you guys you're gonna want to front run some of these resistance levels. I'm going to show you guys what we're looking at. But no, we didn't get 100K. But guess what? Some of our favorite alts are making some big moves. Cardano made some big moves. Chainlink is showing some life here, up over $18. Are we actually seeing the beginning of true alt season about to start? We're going to talk about that and a whole lot more. So I'm very excited. Before we get into it, though, special shout out to one of our sponsors sponsoring today's show. But this is something a lot of you need to look at right now and take very, very seriously. Shout out to Luxalgo, the best trading indicator on the market. You guys know we use them every single show. We love them. I would not be the trader I am without Luxalgo. That being said, the Black Friday deal that they run every single year is afoot. It's live right now. Go to my screen here. You have 4 days, 8 hours, 56 minutes, and 44, just kidding, the seconds left there on the screen to act on this amazing deal. Now, I was all over the place here, T-Shroom. I thought when they told me 65% off, that meant, maybe 65% off the full deal, no year-long package. No, it turns out the way this works is if you buy a year-long package, you go back to the screen here, it's 65% off of what they already had is like 50% off. So instead of paying $120 a month for the ultimate package, right now, if you buy a whole year, which will cost you $251, you will spend the equivalent of $21 a month. You read that right, $21 a month. This comes with back testing and a new feature they're launching today with an AI system. And I'm still learning it, so I'm going to learn it and teach you guys as I get it. But this AI system ultimately builds you the perfect trading strategy for any individual coin on any individual time frame. It's a cheat code. You get access to it with the ultimate package. If you only want premium, if you just want the indicators that we use a lot on the show, then you can spend $18 a month right now and get it. But I would recommend everyone go ahead and spend the extra $3. Go ahead and get the ultimate package, get that back testing, get the AI system, learn how to use it. And this is going to take your trading from maybe you're doing okay here and there to boom, you are borderline a professional. This is a big, big game change in the world of trading. Act on it right now for the next 4 days. Luxalgo with massive sales. Link down below. Guess what? Not only there's a good deal about you to get Luxalgo, if you use it to get into our Discord, let us know what email you signed up with. You get into our VIP trading group where you can learn more about trading, and you're entered to win $500 every single month. By the way, tomorrow's the last live show of the month, so we'll be doing our giveaways tomorrow. Guess what? If you sign up today and get connected, you'll be entered for that $500 giveaway. Act on it right now. T-Shroom, Are you ready to get into the details of the crypto markets now that we've gotten through all of the fluff and stuff?
I am, and it's definitely not fluff, Tim. These deals are once in a
Yeah,
lifetime. Like
once in a
once a
once in
year.
a year, yeah, once a year lifetime. Yeah,
That's right.
if you're a goldfish, it's once in a lifetime.
That's a great point. Let's go
Yeah.
ahead and check out these bubbles.
All right, let's look at them. Overwhelmingly pretty green, especially we got sand is up pretty big today, 26.8. Lido, 20.7. Maker is hiding behind my face, but that sucker's up 10% right there. ARB continues to go to the upside. Does that mean Optimism's up here somewhere as well? There we go, 8.6. Stacks. I feel like we don't get to talk about Stacks a lot. I own a bag of Stacks. It's up 10% here today. But there is a mixture of red. However, the biggest ones we're looking at, ones that have rallied recently. SUI has cooled off here a little bit, down 5.4%. Hopefully you guys watched our video yesterday. We talked about a pullback coming on SUI on the show and then released it yesterday to remind you guys. What else? Bonk is down. Peanut, it's not coming back. It's not coming back. It might get a dead cat bounce. Oh, is it too soon to talk about dead animals when it comes to the peanut coin, T-Shroom?
Yes.
I might have made a massive mistake right there. It might get a bounce, but I don't know if there's any new highs. If you bought the top on Peanut, I apologize to you. I don't think you're getting that one back. Dogecoin's also down here just slightly, just 3.7. But as a whole, a lot of positivity. The one that's getting away is Bitcoin. And we're going to talk about this here in just a little bit. Retesting some major levels of support, even this trend line. I'll give you a cheat sheet in the TA here. We're going to do more after the news, but Bitcoin right now testing this smart trail on the 4-hour. Actually, it looks like now we've officially lost the 4-hour smart trail. I gave a big warning on that to our trading community. I'll update you guys here in just a second what that means. We have this trend line that it really looks like we're wanting to break through. That's going to have major implications for how far Bitcoin can fall. But I've had a lot of thoughts there. A lot of thoughts about Bitcoin. Again, here on this channel, in the Investing Bros, we like to be positive, uplifting. People never like when I talk about pullbacks, but pullbacks are required. So what we like to be as positive is say, hey, don't say that Bitcoin's crashing or Bitcoin pulling back is negative. Look at it as an opportunity. It looks like Bitcoin's going to have a Black Friday sale this week as well. Where can you buy it? I'll talk about that here in just a little bit. But let's start off. We got one positive story, and we got one story that's going to transition us into some negativity. The positive story, though, is somebody is buying Bitcoin in bulk right now to the tune of $5.4 billion. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to guess who just bought $5.4 billion worth of Bitcoin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you said MicroStrategy, because that is the obvious answer right here, you are 100% correct. T-Shirt, what are the details about this?
Oh, the details are absolutely marvelous. MicroStrategy, ticker MSTR on the New York Stock Exchange, has purchased 55,500 Bitcoin for $5.4 billion. This is their biggest purchase yet, I believe. The company now holds a whopping 386,700 Bitcoin, which were acquired for $21.9 billion at an average of 56,761 per Bitcoin. They are the best at Bitcoin. They
own the most. Yeah,
they're killing it. They're crazy, and they're only going to buy more. So says their leader in chief, Michael Saylor. So, and I say our leader in chief because I'm a MicroStrategyser for sure.
Strategizer. Okay.
Did you pick up any MicroStrategies, Tim? Any MSTR?
I don't own any. I don't own it. I should own these because I evaluate them all the time. And ultimately, I've kind of been of the opinion holding MicroStrategy might be a better investment than holding Bitcoin itself. I am a level of a purist, I would say. There is a level like I want to make money. Don't get me wrong. I want to make money. That's why I own a lot of altcoins. There is a level to me though that says I want to actually hold Bitcoin myself. I don't want to hold Bitcoin futures. I don't want to hold a Bitcoin ETF. I don't want to hold, I want to own my own Bitcoin. Not that I'm really scared about any time in the near future that becoming a major issue. I just want to know I own it myself. I'm not just owning an ETF or something that belongs to somebody else, that if something happens to them, it's all gone. I believe in Bitcoin. Not that I don't believe in MicroStrategy long term, but I believe in Bitcoin over believing in MicroStrategy, if that makes sense. So I don't own any stocks. I don't own any MicroStrategy. I am a crypto investor, but that's going to change. There's definitely some stocks out there that If I don't invest in this bull market, I'll invest in them in the future. But I like my portfolio at the moment. Let's transition though, because that's some good news. People do need to know. Does that mean that we're about to pump again? No. MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy are notoriously buyers at both tops and bottoms. There's no rhyme or reason as to what's the market about to do next based off their purchases. Why? Because even though that's a lot of volume, they bought it probably over the counter. It probably had zero impact on the price of Bitcoin. What will have an impact on the price of Bitcoin are some things here moving forward. For example, we have a new prediction after people were, myself included, thought we were going to hit 100K in November. All the signs were there. We literally got within $100 and some odd of hitting $100,000. But now Kaushi is predicting 100K by November. Not so likely. I tend to agree. What's happening here, T-Shroom?
Yeah, so if you look at it here, the spread for before November, the likelihood is only 36%. Before January, before January, there's a majority that think it will be at 100K before the end of December or before the beginning of January, however you want to look at it. But this is what the spreads look like here. So this is over a day period. This is over a week, right? So this is going back to the November 18th. Folks were very certain. We reached what is it? Where we are now plus 8, so 36 plus 8. So there was a much higher level of certainty that we were going to hit 100K, and obviously that's kind of trailed off, and it looks a little bit like the price action of Bitcoin at this point. That's the answer. This is the spread on the question, when will Bitcoin hit 100K? So it's a little bit disappointing, but look, what goes up must come down. We couldn't have thought that Bitcoin was just going to go up forever, and honestly, that's where bulls take positions to become bulls, is on the dips, right? At least experienced ones. So am I shaking in my boots here? Am I thinking I've got to sell all my Bitcoin? Absolutely not. In fact, if you're asking that question, welcome to crypto. Welcome to investing.
Yeah, it's very true. And we're going to transition here and look at the charts. I really like the poll that Crux put up here. Why did Bitcoin retrace from 99K? Everyone go vote on it. Right now, it's healthy correction is leading. I wish this was one there could be a fifth option that said A, C, and D, right? So healthy correction, Michael Saylor bought, Thanksgiving sell-off, Jim Cramer said buy. I don't think Michael Saylor has anything to do with it. Like we just said, Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy, they buy bottoms, they buy tops, they just buy, no correlation to the future price action whatsoever. That being said, did we need a healthy correction? Absolutely. Does it make sense that we're selling off right before Thanksgiving? People are going to be buying presents on Black Friday. Absolutely. Jim Cramer told us to buy a couple of days ago. Does that make sense why we're selling off? Absolutely. So really, it should be A, C, and D is the correct answer to this question. I don't think B really factors in here, but let me know. What do you guys think? Why is it going down? Let's go to the charts here, T-Shroom. I already teased it a little bit. We talked about shorter time frames. I told our trading group, anyone in chat, verify, tell people I'm not a liar. I say this knowing our community. I love you guys. I know you guys love me. Now they're going to say Tim's never said this a day in his life. So don't believe what you read on the internet. I told our VIP trading group that the 4-hour support level was going to be a strong level of support as long as it holds. But if we lost it, it's not like we're getting close to the bottom. I know technically right now on the 4-hour chart, we're reaching a take profit level. We could even go down to 91.4 and we hit our take profit. But I warned our audience that at the 4-hour smart trail, that is this blue line from Luxalgo right here on part of the signals and overlays package, if that was lost, it would be quite a fall to the downside. In fact, I talked about falling all the way back down towards the daily smart trail. This one is coming in between 83,500, high end 87, right? So that's going to put us in the range. I've given this before. If you guys have been watching our channel, I predicted that we would reject off 100K. I said there's a chance we broke through, but my prediction was we would reject off 100K. Alt season would start with a 15 to 20% pullback. What would that give us? That would give us either 85 or 80,000 as the marks to watch for how far back we could pull. Now, the daily chart smart trail right now, as we're looking at it, is coming in, like I said, between 83.5 and 87. Right there in the middle, we're talking about 85,000, the higher end of my range. Well, this made me do some digging, T-Shroom. This made me inspect if the 4-year cycle is intact. And again, there's so many signs that we are right on schedule for how the 4-year cycle works. If we go back to what this looked like a little less than 4 years ago, but around the time that altcoin season started, let's scroll back here using Luxago and take a look at what Bitcoin looked like at the time. Now, of course, what I'm talking about is Bitcoin would break all-time highs and then go on this great rally up towards 41,000. I compared 100,000 to this $41,000 area. Then we started to get the sell signals. And what ended up happening is we fell originally just to the smart trail on the daily chart, but we ended up actually temporarily breaking the smart trail. Not very long. We might as well have kept it as support. We didn't spend a lot of time beneath it, but we did break the daily smart trail momentarily before resuming the bull market. Well, this made me change up a little bit and say, okay, well, what about the 2 daily chart? Do we see any trends potentially on the 2 daily chart that explain this a little bit better? And this is where I want you guys to keep an eye on it. During the last bull market of 2021, after the date April 30th of 2020, we did not break the 2 daily smart trail until those terrible summer dates, May 21st, back when we had, or May 13th, when Elon Musk started selling his Bitcoin. We did not break or lose this smart trail until we had a major pullback in May. Okay. We did bounce off of it during alt season. Alt season brought us down, bounced into that 2-day smart trail, and then we went to the upside. Okay, so now the daily smart trail, I'm not saying we will lose it for certain, but I'm kind of sitting here saying, I think that the one to look at for how far back will Bitcoin fall during alt season, during this healthy pullback, this Thanksgiving pullback, this pullback that's needed because Jim Cramer is bullish on Bitcoin. I think it's the 2 daily smart trail that we're watching, just like back there. And what I'm watching here, I'm looking here around 70, lower end 75, but higher end 80,000. I think this is still climbing, so more than likely by the time we meet it, it goes up higher. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, this is definitely trending right here rather than moving sideways the way the daily chart is. I think 80,000, a 20% pullback instead of 30% like we've seen in previous alt seasons. I think a 20% pullback for Bitcoin is expected. Look for a daily or 2-day smart trail return for Bitcoin by the time this is all said and done. Now, let's also address why I think we need a serious pullback right now, because it's not just that Bitcoin's 4 hours losing it. Ultimately, come take a look at what we have going on here as far as oscillators are concerned. I told you guys that this was going to happen eventually. We've got a couple things going on. First, it's hard to see here. You guys see this red fainted line? Let me turn off the Luxago signals and overlays, just using Luxago oscillators. See that thin red line? Remember I told you guys back here early in November that I thought that Bitcoin would top out with what we call bearish divergence, meaning price action goes to the upside, but oscillators go down. Well, while the MACD went to the upside, the Luxago oscillator went slightly down. We also now are seeing red reversal, bearish momentum, and it looks like the money flow is about to want to go south on the daily chart. We're getting a bearish MACD cross for the first time since way back here in November 2nd, briefly before we had a small pullback and then we continued. But we're also 100% overbought in the RSI. And when you take a look at it, look at these peaks. It's not massive, but there is a slight downward trajectory in the peaks on the RSI. What does this mean? This means that bearish divergence that I predicted would be the indicator of the top of this movement was 100% right. So that's the first thing I'm looking at, saying for sure we need to be pulling back. Also, as far as the 100K is concerned, I told you guys that I thought 100K is possible, but I knew there was going to be selling around 100K. Really, in all reality, we got all the way to $99,860. We came within $140 of 100,000, but this, like an order block, had a lot of people selling off beforehand. It was a level that for now we could not deal with. We could not get over. This, to me, did I get the number 100% right? Did I think we would actually see 100,000? I did think we were going to. But I'm gonna look at this and say this is not abnormal. This is not out of the cards. This is not crazy that we fell within what seemed like just seconds away from 100K, because we really could have gotten there. $140 is not a lot of money. This fits the bill for kind of exactly what I expected, a falter at or a little bit below 100K, and then the alt season to pull back. What we're seeing coming along with this, Take a look right now at my chart again. Bitcoin dominance. Is Bitcoin dominance fallen below this trend level that we talked about? No. So that's why at the moment I can't tell you with 100% certainty the altcoin season is about, but I do see lower highs set here on the more recent time period. After pulling back here a couple of days ago, November 10th, we now have pulled back even further. What does this Bitcoin dominance chart communicate? It means that as Bitcoin is falling, it's falling faster than the rest of the altcoin space. Total chart, this is total crypto market cap, small pullback right here. Nothing necessarily crazy, but small pullback. If I look at total 2, barely anything. We kind of hovering. If I look at total 3, little pullback right there. But as a whole, I see that the altcoins are outpacing Bitcoin once again. We'll look at some other things here. Ethereum over Bitcoin chart. Looks like we found a bottom and we're picking up some momentum. Cardano over Bitcoin. We've been sustaining a bullish trend of Cardano over Bitcoin. XRP over Bitcoin. Again, sustained bullish momentum. Solana over Bitcoin is one of the few altcoins that is not picking up momentum, but that's because it's right now in a very, very, very bullish pattern that's very close to breaking out. What is my overall point here? My point is we're watching Bitcoin fall. We saw Bitcoin hit that psychological level, got within $140 of 100K. It is falling while the altcoins are actually holding up very well. The Bitcoin dominance chart is falling. This looks like altcoin season. It looks like where Bitcoin's going to continue its correction. And my estimation, I think 80K looks probable, a 20% correction. Altcoins look still ready to go to the upside and start their true alt season. It's coming early this time. It's coming for Black Friday. That's what we're watching right now. It's not 100%. It's not 100% final. It's not guaranteed. But everything right now is pointing towards how we predicted it to happen. Bitcoin's pulling back. Altcoins are getting ready to rally. It's time to start transitioning. If you haven't already, it's time to start transitioning some, not all, but some of your Bitcoin profits into some of these riskier altcoins, some of these altcoins that haven't run as much, because this is the time period that Bitcoin dominance starts to fall. It's not going to be the best investment in the crypto space from here on out through the rest of the bull market. That's okay. The whole point of crypto investing is to get back into Bitcoin. But now we've entered this season where holding altcoins is actually the better bet that makes you more money than holding Bitcoin. That has not been the case for the last 2 years. It now looks like alt season is afoot. T-Shroom, there's a lot there.
I got a question for
Any
you
thoughts
on that.
and questions? Yeah, good.
Yeah, what would you need to see for it to change your mind that this isn't the beginning of alt season?
Bitcoin to revive, bounce back up, hit 100K. And this is going to be interesting. I think it's pretty clear from the charts, what I showed you guys. We were looking at the 4-hour chart. We're looking at the daily chart. We're looking at divergences. We're looking at weaknesses. We're looking at sell signals. The volume is decreasing after that peak. These are all signs that Bitcoin needs to pull back. And a lot of the signs show 80 to 85, that 20 to 15% pullback looks right. Do the altcoins pull back too? Right? If the altcoins pull back too, that's not true alt season. Right. That would shake these up, but that doesn't change my mind necessarily about Bitcoin. It just changes my mind about altcoins. But what we're watching right now, I'm not saying altcoins aren't pulling back barely, but as Bitcoin is taking a pretty big hit in terms of market cap, altcoins are kind of steady. Cardano maintaining $1 right there. Chainlink hitting and maintaining $18. We'll talk about that more later in the show. XRP kind of still just hovering there around 150. I mean, Bitcoin has these candles on the daily chart that are pulling back. These altcoins look like they're more paused than pulling back, if that makes sense. This is the beginning signs of alt season. And I wonder the other thing people are going to say here is, Tim, how long does this last? Traditionally, about 2 to 3 weeks, meaning we should have about another 2 weeks, give or take, or 2.5 weeks of Bitcoin falling. But during that time period, we should watch altcoins start to go back to the upside. That, to me, is what I think is likely. The alternative, or what changes my mind, because the other thing that can happen is if we break 100K and shoot to 120. If that happens, okay, pause. Alt season won't happen for another couple weeks. But when we're watching the charts right now, we're watching what's happening, I'm going to put that as less than 20% chance of happening. I think you have more than an 80% chance of this being alt season. Bitcoin's about to fall. Altcoins are about to rally for about 2 to 3 weeks. Then altcoins will pause. Bitcoin will work to catch back up. But ultimately, altcoins will have a very explosive next 2-3 months, 4 months. That doesn't mean they stop exploding after that. That just means the next 2 to 3 months are going to be insane. And then it's about kind of finding out what's actually valuable, what's not valuable. That's going to be a very fun process.
Yeah. Yeah. We actually have a pretty interesting comment here. Not much of a question, but I will show that if you do look at the Ethereum chart today, this is the month. This is the month of November. Ethereum is pushing local highs here, getting up to 3,547 today, and its candlestick could potentially close above every other candlestick for the month of November. That's certainly more evidence that altcoin season is upon us. We're always trying here at the Investing Bros. We're always trying to look for evidence. When is alt season starting? There's been a lot of people who've already called it, months ago that altcoin season has started. We're very, very critical of those types of calls, because we want to make sure that we're actually timing it right and not investing in names that are going to go down instead of up. And you want to have been in Bitcoin as much as possible up until essentially today. I mean, I think we're getting close to calling it here. We're seeing what we need to see, and now Ethereum pushing higher and getting up above 4,000 really would kind of be that confirmation. That's not going to happen for a while. Jumping back over 4,000 would be 15% for Ethereum, which, hey, Ethereum can get moving. These altcoins can get moving real quick. Had an interesting comment here from Dan Ludwig, said, in what world is Bitcoin dropping to 80K good for altcoin dominance? I'm sorry, didn't put a period in there. In what world is Bitcoin dropping to 80K good for altcoins? Dominance hadn't come down near enough for that to not affect them. What do you think about that one?
I'm
Too
still
confusing?
Struggling to understand the actual question there. Pull it back up. I'm like, so because my first thought would be like, how is Bitcoin dominant, or how is Bitcoin dropping to 80K good for altcoins? Ultimately, what we're talking about here is, in a traditional sense, normally when Bitcoin falls, altcoins follow. There is this one period of time where there is a great divergence between the two of them, meaning their price actions go in dramatically different directions. It's altcoin season. And why? Because this is not a time where the whole market is concerned. Bitcoin is not selling off because there's a problem with Bitcoin. I hope people understand this. If you're sitting here saying, is Bitcoin done? Nothing's wrong with Bitcoin. Michael Saylor's buying $5.4 billion. Other companies are still buying more. Governments are still having massive talks. I mean, our government is talking about selling gold for Bitcoin in the very near future, right? There's nothing wrong with Bitcoin. It rallied up this fast. It rallied up this high very fast. It's overextended. Traders are taking profits. They're moving a little away because they want to buy a dip. And altcoins, even though a lot of altcoins have popped off recently, are still historically undervalued. I'm thinking about not Solana. Solana is about to hit a new all-time high, but when you're thinking about the XRPs and the Cardanos and the Chainlinks and the AVAXs and all these others, Ethereum, they're undervalued. So this is the one time where the markets don't move in unison, but rather Bitcoin rallied so quick, so fast, people are taking profits, and they're deciding where to put them in altcoin season. I mean, even what we just showed you on the charts, I'm not going to show it again, but Bitcoin's falling, right? The chart on Bitcoin is very clearly falling. Altcoins are maybe paused. What that's telling me is people are taking profits on Bitcoin, not on the altcoins, and they're looking to decide what altcoin looks like the best investment with their profits from Bitcoin. They're going to rally. They're going to keep going up. People are going to keep taking profit on Bitcoin. Bitcoin drops to 80K. It's a steal. Institutions say, boom, love it, 80K. That's way better than 99,000. I'll buy 80K. Bitcoin resumes, breaks 100K, goes over 200. This is all a part of the game plan that we knew was going to happen. This is just a weird part of the season where Bitcoin going down is actually good for altcoins. But we're in transition here. We got more we got to do today. Great stuff for the show. Do not go anywhere. We got over 1,000 people, 1,100 people watching on YouTube, another 200 and some odd watching on X. How many likes is this? 241?
Yep. Weak sauce.
That's less than a quarter. Smash the like. I'm gonna cry live on the show. Badass white boy. I don't like saying that on this show. I just said, after alts make their first big move, will they pull back? Would I be dumb to try and swing it? Yes, there will be a form of a pullback, not a big pullback. It won't pull back to these levels. But there will be just like Bitcoin, alts will run. They'll get overextended. They'll hit new highs. People will take profits. They'll have a small pullback. Then people buy that dip, and it continues. I can't tell you where and how exactly, but we'll monitor it. As it gets closer, it'll become more obvious. We'll see it on the charts. We'll see it in the data. But stick with us. That's why you should watch the show every single day. That's why you should be on our Discord. That's why you should be in our VIP trading group, because those are answers that I can't tell you until the time is close. And the time's not close right now for an altcoin pullback. So thank you for the super chat, though. Let's do this, T-Shroom. A lot of people here. A lot of people in chat. Love you guys. We didn't ask this earlier. Tell us in chat, where are you guys from? Everyone go and we give you the opportunity to go. Let's let chat just roll. Everyone put where you are tuning in and watching the bros from on this fine Monday afternoon, November 25th. T-Shroom, let's keep talking about altcoins. Let's keep talking about some bullishness that's happening with altcoins. Yeah. A coin that has recently, the haters have gotten silent, and for good reason. XRP, ladies and gentlemen. XRP. If you love XRP, let me know in chat. If you hate XRP, it's a good time just to maybe sit this chat portion out. It's doing very well, and what we're hearing today is going to be another big piece of information for XRP Army to pump the price. What is it, teacher, and what's happening?
Oh, we're going to turn to Eleanor Tourette. She's awesome. Ooh. She said this: global ETF provider Wisdom Tree Funds has registered in the state of Delaware for an XRP ETF. I have confirmed with the company this is a legitimate filing. Wisdom Tree has over 100 billion in assets under management. So this is the official filing here. You can feast your eyes on this bit of application. Super cool. XRP fans, XRP hodlers are screaming from the rooftops. Now, I actually, over the weekend, I was on a golfing trip in Tampa area, and one of my family members actually revealed that they own they don't own XRP, but they own Ripple Labs. And I was like, well, hold on a second. How do you do that? Well, he's an accredited investor. So people own Ripple Labs, and apparently it's done really well right alongside XRP. If you don't know what that means, accredited investor, don't worry about it. You don't need to know about that to be an investor. I was just sharing a little bit of a story from the weekend. But people who've held on to XRP and XRP exposure have been rewarded over the last couple months. I'm interested in if that's going to continue, if they can build on the momentum. It looks like Wisdom Tree thinks that they can.
Yeah, I think that's very interesting here. As far as price action, this is going to be bullish news just because the news itself. Whether it ends up being a successful ETF in the future or not as important as what it is right now. Remember on Bitcoin how we lost this 4-hour smart trail? Looks like XRP used it the other day to bounce, and now it's once again resuming that move towards the upside. Again, the daily chart not looking that bad whatsoever. Are there overbought signs? Yes, absolutely there is. However, until we have sustained downward movement, we have no bearish divergence. That MACD doesn't look like it wants to cross over to the downside here on the daily chart. If I were to go to the weekly chart, this is where you start to say, man, we got a lot more room to the upside before the weekly chart's overextended. Bitcoin got to its weekly chart, take profit, and now it wants to reverse. XRP, again, we're kind of on watch right here. I think the level for XRP to look for reversal is matching the highs from 2021 back here just south of $2. We're talking about 197, give or take, 196. The 2021 highs. Does that mean that's the end of XRP's rally? No, it means that's where people will take profits. It'll have a decent pullback, probably 30%, I would imagine, with how explosive this price action is. I mean, you don't get this big of a move. Let's pretend this ends up happening. You don't get a 5-week period of an increase of 289% without a substantial pullback. My guess, again, 30, 40% at the least. That could go a little bit more. That's just a pullback on a healthy correction of a very bullish asset. Then it continues. It smashes those highs. It starts to head for its real all-time highs back above $3. I think that happens sometime. My best guess, early summer 2025 is when I'm expecting brand new all-time highs for XRP. When we're going to get these ETFs, that part I don't think is very clear here from Eleanor Tourette just yet, but this is absolutely very bullish for XRP and all the XRP holders. So you guys should be celebrating. Let's get into here, T-Shroom. Let's transition from XRP into another asset that we love here on the Investing Pros channel. People have been questioning, man, is something wrong with this asset? Is it not going to make it? Well, it's starting to show some signs of life right as altcoin season is starting. I'm talking about Chainlink, everybody. Chainlink has some news and is making some moves on some charts. T-Shirt, what do you got for Chainlink holders today?
Absolutely. Well, building on the momentum of last week's news, where they announced that their pilot had come to a conclusion, meaning they finished their pilot with Swift, along with some other very big TradFi names. Chainlink is coming out swinging, showing the institutions and enterprises that they mean business. At SmartCon, Chainlink Labs revealed that Deco Sandbox enables financial institutions and enterprises to quickly explore how to streamline user onboarding while maintaining data privacy and ensuring data provenance. Does this sound insignificant to you? It's not. This is very significant because they're focusing on institutions and enterprises. And what institutions and enterprises care about a lot, they care about user safety. They care a lot about minimizing liability. They also care about, will people actually use it and can they use it? So user onboarding is extremely, extremely important. Chainlink, not getting a huge association with a major like giant bank like we're used to seeing with them, but they are showing that they are continuing to push the ball in the right direction and showing that they're putting institutions and enterprises at the forefront of their business development goals. So I'd love to see this. Again, building on momentum is like what I want to see as a value investor. I want to see names continuing to associate themselves with big banks, big wealthy groups that are seeing value in them, as well as showing that they are ready to deliver that value, whether through new products, new tools, new services. And the Deco Sandbox here from Chainlink is got revealed there at SmartCon, and people are excited about it. The right people.
Well, and let's continue this and just talk about this. This is something that people who do not appreciate what I'm about to say, they just don't get this. But you need to understand this sentence. Price is downstream from fundamentals. Let me say it again so everyone hears it. Write it down, put it on a wall, frame it right over your computer. Price is downstream from fundamentals. What that means is even when something doesn't have hype, something's pumped solely off of hype. Other things pump once the value is very, very clear. We have known how valuable Chainlink is going to be. I'm not talking about the price at the moment. I'm talking about just how the world is going to use Chainlink, what it's going to be used for. The largest money transaction company in the world, Swift, is incorporating Chainlink and how they're doing things. Major banks all across the world are incorporating Chainlink. Businesses, other altcoins are using Chainlink. This is a coin that is a sleeping giant of gains still left in this bull market. I still am expecting, if people are wondering about my price prediction, go check out our video on price predictions. I still believe if you're like negative, if you're just like, man, I don't think Chainlink's that special, you're still talking about probably a $200 Chainlink. Guys, quick math, at $18 it's currently at, that's still over a 10x investment, and that's the pessimistic side. I think the realistic side for where it's going to be, $400. We're talking about a 20 plus X for anyone who buys it today. But I think there's a chance, a bullish situation, a chance where we reach all the way to 600 by the end of this bull market. People, do not sleep on Chainlink. How much you should invest in, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not going to tell you that. Talk to a financial advisor if you want. Assess what your risk ratio is. But Chainlink has a very, very exciting next couple of months, next couple of years, heck, next couple of decades. I think this is one of the coins that is looking like an altcoin that will make it for a long, long time. Let's look at the charts here, T-Shroom, and not just focus on the fundamentals, but what is the price action telling us? Big breakout here recently. Again, this was a coin. Just kind of let's back up for a second. Very consistently boring bear market. I mean, after hitting lows in May of 2022, right? Just a couple of months after all-time highs in the rest of the crypto market, it hit the bear market bottom and then would go on for years, for a year and a half, to be boring, to be sideways, to have a very consistent range, rejecting at $9.50, bouncing off of $5.50. It broke out of there, coming back on. People got very excited about Chainlink here in October of 2023. It kind of led that rally. It and Solana led that rally, that explosion about a year ago. But then since that time, people have begun to ask the question, is Chainlink done? Is it over? Is it coming back to the downside? Is this coin just not very exciting? Well, we've once again started to make some moves. And unlike a lot of the rest of the space, I mean, if you right now looked at the Solana chart or the Bitcoin chart, like I showed you earlier, or if you looked at the SUI chart, you're seeing some massive overextended sell signals coming in, people wanting to take profits. That's not what we're seeing whatsoever right now on the Chainlink chart. As we're testing highs we had back here in May, let's take a look at what's going on these charts, starting off with the daily chart. The daily chart has not even hit the take profit levels yet. We're talking about at least $19.50, but more than likely up above $20 on the daily chart. If you go to the weekly chart take profit levels, it's a lot higher than that. We're talking about $23 up to $30 is the expectation on the weekly chart. But even better, as we come back down to the daily chart, let's look at the oscillators, one of my favorite indicators out there to tell us when we need to reverse. What I'm seeing right now, T-Shroom, are we 100% overbought in the RSI? Yes, we are, but there's no bearish divergence. We have room to live to the upside. The MACD is continuing to move bullish right here. No reversal in sight on the daily chart here for Chainlink. I go to Luxago indicator. Do we have a red reversal popping up? Yeah, we do, but no bearish divergence. Consistent money flow. Lots of room to the upside for the oscillator, meaning I don't think Chainlink's pulling back until more than likely probably this weekly take profit levels, once again above 20, but potentially as high as $30 before this coin even begins to slow down. We got major reasons to maintain bullish price action here with Chainlink. And just like the rest of the space, I just want to make sure you guys understand, even if, let's say, the daily chart, the weekly chart start to show us overextended oscillators, I just want to remind you what this looked like back here in 2021 when we lived in the bull market in overextended oscillator action. We had some pullbacks in play, but as a whole, we just stayed overbought at all times. Just because you enter overbought territory for the first time here in a while, let's be very real here on the weekly chart. Last time we were bullish was this peak, this massive top in March. We've now had a big correction. We are just now, again, for this leg of the bull market, entering into the overbought territories. Keyword there, entering. We're not crazily overbought. We're going to live up here for a very long time. Chainlink, very far away from those levels of resistance. You can go off my screen here, T-Shirt, but I also want to say very far from truly reflecting the value that this asset will have in the future when it actually starts getting used on the daily basis. Guys, again, not financial advisors here, but as for me and my household, we buy Link. We buy Link a lot. Let me know in the comments what you guys think in the chat. What do you guys think about Chainlink? Do you like the coin? Are you buying? How much do you own? How much more do you need to get? Let us know all of those down below. Smash the like and hit subscribe. T-Shroom, before we transition here, because we're about to do a Dogecoin price prediction. It's time for a Dogecoin price prediction. Any last thoughts from you on Chainlink or any other thoughts before we get there?
I'm bullish. I'm bullish on it. And we just looked at a lot of reasons why on the chart and the fundamentals. You know, it's if you're feeling like you don't hear enough about Chainlink, why is that a good reason? Well, it's because you're retail, right? Their audience is not retail. Do they want you to buy their coin? Of course they do, right? But their audience is not retail. Their audience is sitting 80 stories up in high rises in downtown cities and central banks, and that's just the long and short of it. Those are the coins that I want to hold. Nothing wrong with retail coins, but Chainlink is not so much a retail coin.
Very true. Well, T-Shroom, let's go ahead. Let's get into it. You guys know what time it is. It's time for a Dogecoin price prediction. You guys know the drill. We got a lot of things to look at. We got a lot of different things to address. I want to make sure it's very clear up front. I cannot pinpoint the exact dollar. I might get some of these variables wrong, but based off of historical analysis, we're going to discuss what Dogecoin should look like by the end of this bull market, depending on where crypto goes and when the bull market top actually gets going. With that said, let's get into it. Starting off on the charts here, as we always do with our price predictions. But for anyone who's new, hasn't seen them, there's three scenarios for bull market tops. And while I think the first one's the least likely, I have heard more rumblings recently of people expecting an early top for crypto cycle. Well, guess what? Right here, this is the total chart. This is the total market cap for all of crypto. My expectation is keyword if here, if we saw an early top, if crypto as a whole, the bull market ends in April of 2025, I still think we're getting to $6 trillion in market cap. A little over a double from the last top of the bull market, but that's where we could be in April. Remember that. This will be very important. $6 trillion. How much of that will go to Dogecoin? We'll talk about in a second. 4-year cycle, the one that most retail investors still believe is going to be the top. We're talking about September, October of 2025. $11 trillion is the expectation for where crypto can go. I think that is a realistic target. I think some people think that's crazy bullish. There's actually some signs out there that might not be bullish enough, but I'm going to stick with it for now, that if the bull market does end this time next year, fall of 2025, we would see an $11 trillion market cap. But there is a theory out there that this is the time the 4-year cycle breaks, that we extend the bull market. The economy's good. Crypto's good. We extend it to the end of 2026, and crypto sees itself have a $20 trillion market cap in December of 2026. Those are the 3 scenarios for when the bull market top could be. Now, what does that mean for Dogecoin? Let's get into the details of where Dogecoin could be. Go off my screen here for a second. And let's talk about April of 2025. Now, going back, if crypto's at $6 trillion, Dogecoin, where it's currently hovering around number 7, I think it could legitimately still be in that spot, maybe a little bit lower. The expectation for a coin around number 7, number 8, that area, is about a 2.5% dominance, right? 2.5% dominance. That would give Dogecoin the market cap of roughly $150 billion. Okay, $150 billion. That's very good for Dogecoin. What does that mean, though? I'm going to get to my Dogecoin chart here. What does that mean, though, about supply? Because before we know the price action, just because we know the area of the market cap, we need to know where the supply is going to be. Well, estimates show that we should have about 149 billion tokens in circulation. It's not quite perfect math, but it's very close. $150 billion divided by 150 billion coins means that we should, in April, if that's the top, have just barely eclipsed that $1 mark. That's the prediction for April, $1. If you look at that right now, Dogecoin's had a real big explosion here recently. Not back at all-time highs, like back in 2021 when we were at 75 cents, but very, very close. It's not going to be the greatest return on your investment, but hey, anything that's a 2x, if you can double my money for certainty, that's great. 150, so 1.5 or 2.5x of where your current money is right now at 40 cents. That's what you would expect if we were to make it up here towards $1. And again, that would be in April. So that's our first price level. Let me go and just put a line right there around $1. That is our price prediction for April 2025. Now, let's keep going on, though, and talk about what happens, if you go off my screen here, if the 4-year cycle plays a role. And again, $11 trillion in all of crypto. Dogecoin, I still believe this time next year, because of how much retail love for Dogecoin there is, I believe it stays in its current rankings. Again, 7, 8. The big talk here. I think a couple weeks ago, I actually said it might be around number 10 or 11. I think with what Dogecoin's doing right now, especially with the memes that will continue to roll out with Elon Musk and what he's doing with the government and DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, I think that we maintain this ranking. We keep that 2.5% dominance. Well, 2.5% of 11 trillion gives us a market cap of $275 billion coming to Dogecoin. It's a lot. I know it's a lot, but hey, this is the number one meme for a reason. Wait for retail to come back. Wait for the old investors to come back. Wait for the people who are more political to kind of pay attention to what Elon's doing in the government. I think Dogecoin has a very bright future. I think 275 billion is extremely realistic for this time next year. And with the supply at that time of 151 billion tokens, $275 billion divided by 151 billion tokens gives us a price prediction of $1.82. Go back to the screen here. What does that mean if you bought Dogecoin right this very second? If I can grab this tool correctly, there we go. $1.82. We are talking about a big gain here, upwards of 361%. That's a 4.5x. Let's pause for a second before I keep going on too much further. If anyone was wondering and thinking, man, is Dogecoin going to 10x? Probably not. I'm not saying that's impossible, but probably not. If you were hoping that I was going to tell you your Dogecoin was going to get a 10x, ladies and gentlemen, you should have invested. Go back to my chart here. You should have invested just a couple of weeks ago. If you had just come back here and invested back in September, you could have had a 19x. But for anyone who's thinking, man, do I still have a 10x here on Dogecoin, despite the fact that we pumped massively? No, that's kind of off the table at the moment. That being said, there's still a lot of gains. Up 4.5x, nothing to shake a stick at whatsoever. But that's the reasonable expectation. A $270 billion market cap with giving us $1.80 for our Dogecoin price. But what happens? Go off my screen here. What happens if we extend the market, right? So in the past, we've done a lot of price predictions. We've covered the big boys. We've covered a lot of ones that institutions really love. But when it comes to Dogecoin, I'm not saying that there will be zero institutional adoption whatsoever, but I don't think that Dogecoin is really a candidate for institutions. I think Dogecoin is much more likely to be a retail friendly coin. I think it's one that people will like, as long as the retail is bullish. And we talked about before, retail is really going to think that the top of the market's going to be in October of 2025. They're not going to really stay in Dogecoin into 2026. That being said, I think it makes another bounce. But if you're expecting a massive, massive gain in Dogecoin in 2026, I think people should pump their brakes. Even go back to my chart here real quickly. Before I give my price prediction for 2026, take a look at how Dogecoin performed last bull market, right? There are two tops, May and November. Well, look what Dogecoin did in May. It hit its top right here, May 3rd, went all the way here to 76 cents, and then pulled back with the rest of the market. But by the time November pulled around, it lost its flavor. It didn't make it through the full duration of the bull market. Why? Because people kind of had their fill way back here. What I'm getting at here is that I have Dogecoin maintaining a top 10 ranking for at least another year. But I think that after the 4-year cycle is played out, while institutional coins will keep on running, I think Dogecoin slips. I think that in 2026, it would be very lucky still to get this ranking, but I think somewhere around number 15, number 11, 15, in that range, I think it has a 1.5% dominance. It falls from 2.5% dominance down to a 1.5% dominance. Well, that's still a lot. 1.5 dominance of $20 trillion is still a $300 billion market cap. So it's increasing. It's just not as dramatically of an increase as it was in the past. With 157 billion tokens in circulation at the time, that would give us a price prediction, $300 billion divided by 157 billion tokens, of $1.91. So if you go back to my screen, we're not really changing it up too much. It's not going to surpass the highs that we had just a year prior that much. Again, we're going to talk about, if you hold that long, which I wouldn't necessarily recommend to do, you're still only looking at maybe a 5x at best. 5x at best, holding that long. Again, that's a $300 billion market cap for a meme coin. I don't think, and honestly, Elon has not said this yet, I don't think that Elon's planning to integrate Dogecoin into X. If he did, I think that we should be having a different conversation as a whole. And I will make a different video if we get closer to that range where it looks like Dogecoin is going to be officially put onto X and used to spend on things. Then I'll change my mind. I'll give you a much more bullish prediction. I think we're going to be this bullish despite the fact that we're not going to see that type of level of mass adoption. I still think that retail really loves this coin, is going to pump it, is going to give it value. I still think 275 to 300 billion in market cap. Some people are going to call me crazy. I still think that's possible. If Elon comes in, if Elon says, all right, guys, Dogecoin on X, I don't want to excite you too much, but we could be talking about $1 trillion market cap. I'm not saying that for certain. I'm just saying that potentially is on the table. But that, in a nutshell, is my Dogecoin prediction. This is one of the coins that I think the most likely outcome is your best bet to take profit is going to be a year from now, the 4-year cycle top. Could it be a little higher by 2026? Yes, but not enough to make it really worth your time or energy to hold it that long. Dogecoin to just under $2. Let me know in the comments, in the chat, what you guys think. Is $2 too high? Is it too low? What other coins do you want to see price predictions on? Let us know. We always want to make you guys happy. Make sure to smash the like and hit subscribe. There's your Dogecoin price prediction. T-Shroom, I'm going to throw it to you. What are your thoughts? Am I too bullish, too bearish? Do you have a different number? I know you love Doge. I know you hold Doge. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think that's right on. It's making me wonder, could Doge potentially be one that you should take profits on quite a bit earlier than the rest of the altcoins, just because it has had such a big breakaway move? I think that the Doge DOGE, like the Department of Government
Department of Government
Efficiency.
Efficiency.
I
Yeah.
believe it's supposed to come to a close in July of 2020. I just don't remember if it's 2025 or 2026. But it's before the U.S. primaries. Let me look this up really quick. When this would be.
I don't know. I don't remember the date for
But
that.
yeah, they just put an op-ed. Vivek and Elon, who are heading up the Doge, they said in an op-ed that they're going to sunset Doge in before the U.S. primaries, meaning they're going to try to get everything done from a government efficiency standpoint before that date. So, yeah, it looks like. Let me see. Yeah, stand by. I'll look and see when that is. But that's important, right? Because if they dissolve Doge, which they said they have plans to, that could potentially put a lot of bear sell pressure on the coin. So again, this one is kind of making me wonder. I think it still has further to fly because until January 20th, when Donald Trump is inaugurated in the United States, every asset really is pretty has a bullish tailwind. So meaning there's buy pressure argument for it. I wonder though is if Dogecoin is going to top out a lot sooner than the rest of all coins.
No, and that's kind of one of my theories. Is I think it tops out when retail is done. I think when retail is done, that's more than likely the top. I guess I did give a slightly higher level, but I gave it the highest dominance at that level. Just be prepared. If we make a run into 2026, everything's going to pump again because money's going to flow in again. Not everything's going to set brand new all-time highs, but things will pump again because that's going to be a completely different scenario. That being said, I see some people on here saying, I'm going to take profit at 70 cents. I'm going to take profit at $1. I'm going to take profit at yada, yada, yada. Understand that with these price predictions, I'm not predicting nonstop trajectory up there. There will be several pullbacks between now and $2, right? Now and $1.80. You're going to see probably one at all-time highs. You're probably going to see one around $1. You might see one around 150. There's going to be up and down and up and down and up and down. The issue is they're going to be higher highs and higher lows. So if you want to trade this, swing trade it. I kind of want to give these price predictions. I want to be clear with people. I'm kind of talking to my long-term investors, the guys who want to buy, they want to monitor the markets, but they really just want to hodl and wait until they think the bull market's over and then take profit. They don't want to buy and sell and buy and sell and buy and sell. They just want to buy and hold and then sell. That's what I'm talking to. If you're a trader, hey, we'll evaluate that as it comes. We'll talk about the pullbacks that'll come at 73 cents, at $1, at $1.25. Like we'll talk about when the markets are overextended and you can swing trade your way in and out for a lot of these coins. But for my long-term holders, my best guess, T-Shroom, is that retail is going to hold this sucker until they think the 4-year cycle's over. They're going to sell at the end of the 4-year cycle. There's going to be a dramatic pullback, and then there will be a bounce again. How high we get this is a question, but I don't think it's going to be an explosive higher high at the end of 2026 should 2026 pattern kind of play out. But that being said, that's going to conclude that topic as a whole. Let us know in the comments what you guys think. T-Shroom, it's 3:57. We had a lot. Again, we're only 2 shows this week, only 2 live shows. So we have to pack a lot of information in here. It's time to do a factoid of the day, T-Shroom.
It is.
And today, what we'll do one today. If I get this one right, we'll do 2 tomorrow. So I have to get 2 out of 3 rather than 3 out of 5. So tell the elf tomorrow we need 2 of them. But today, let's do 1. If I get it right, we're on a good way to give people some money tomorrow. Make sure to come back tomorrow. We're going to be doing a lot of giveaways because tomorrow's the last show, not only of the week, but also of the month. So we have a lot of giveaways. Our Luxago giveaway, our members giveaways. We'll have the end of the week. If I get these factoids right, giveaways. Hey, today, I mean, we only have a couple minutes left. We're only 100 and some odd likes away from 600 likes, and we'll give somebody $100 for that too, T-Shirt. So there's a lot of money that can be given away here. Make sure you come back tomorrow for all of that. Smash like. We might give money away today. Go ahead and take it away. What is our factoid of the day today?
All right, Tim. Factoid of the day for today is what percentage of Greece's territory is made up of islands? Is it 5%, 20%, 35%, or is it 50%, Tim? These are the things you need to know.
I'll be very honest. I'm struggling to picture what Greece looks like in terms of a shape. And like, I know it's on the ocean, obviously.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with a sneak. I'm gonna go this one. I'm not gonna do like a SAT type of thing. I'm gonna kind of try to logic my way in here. I think 5% is way too small. Otherwise, this wouldn't be a question. I think realistically, 50 is a little high, so it's gonna be between B and C. I'm gonna go with the sneakily higher pick of C, 35%.
Okay.
I think it's higher than most people expect, but I think that's the answer.
All right, here we go. Let's see if Tim's SAT skills pay off again.
Oh, God, please, no!
I was so close.
No!
I got it to the right.
No!
I got it to the split, and I just couldn't take it on from there.
Yeah, so Greece has over 6,000 islands, but only about 200 are inhabited, and it makes up about 20%. Some estimates are as low as 16.5% of the total landmass of Greece.
Okay. Well, the answer was for a second. I was like, wait, we talking about population living on an island? I thought the question was landmass. But okay,
it's just more information. And then I did get also to the bottom of this. The Department of Government Efficiency is a proposed entity, not an existing one. Its proposed timeline for completion is July 4th, 2026. So this kind of throws off my original theory that Dogecoin should be sold earlier in the altcoin cycle. I think that it's going to just go along.
Well, and completion means they don't start work until 2026, or they would be done with what they need to do by 2026.
They're going to be done with what they need to do by 2026. Okay. And I think that is because the U.S. primaries, meaning the state by state election, could go in a way where it takes away the House and Senate from the Republicans, and so they want to do everything they can while they control the House and Senate, albeit by a slim margin in the House. Because the primaries could reshuffle everything. Now they could double down, and the Republicans could win the House and the Senate again. But we don't want to count our chickens before they hatch.
No, you don't ever count your chickens before they hatch. As we're wrapping up here, Ocala Toyman, can someone tell me what website I should use to buy crypto? I know I'm late to the game. Ocala Toyman, so glad you're in here. So glad you're in our community. There's some things I want you to do. Join our community. Join our free Discord. Jump in there. If you want to grow your education, you can join our memberships. The memberships really are awesome. I'm going to talk more about those in a second. But just even for now, join our Discord, our free version. There's so much good information there. We talk constantly. Other great people in there. In short, and I'm talking to all new people. If you just want to buy crypto, it really is a hard argument to say not to use Coinbase, right? There's several options. You can use Coinbase, you can use Uphold, with certain ones, you can buy it on Robinhood. If you're in different countries, you can use Binance. If you just want to buy and hold, Coinbase. If you want to get into trading, we have Blofin and CoinW affiliate links, but great resources to trade. If you're here in the United States, go check out those as well. But it's really hard to argue against Coinbase, but it really depends on who you are. And so the one thing I would recommend if you're newer here, invest in crypto. You want to do it, but how many people here in chat? I want to pause here for a second. How many people here in chat, you invested in crypto, but you made the mistake of not understanding how long to hold, how much to get, what kind of split to have, and you found yourself back in 2021 not really making as much money as you thought? Also, chat, we got a bot in here. It's gone crazy. If you guys can help,
it might be time to end the stream because it looks like it's 30 different accounts. So it is
rough. All right, well, let me just wrap it up here. Not prioritizing your education and understanding is a massive, massive mistake. This is also gonna be like it's gonna be like converted also thought of the day. Invest in your understanding of how things go. The reason we started the membership options, the reason we keep the prices so stinking low, the reason why even this week we're going to offer a 50% discount on our Ultimates package. Yes, normally it's $100 a month. If you buy it this week, it's $50 a month. And you get locked into one of the greatest things. In that, you'll get one-on-one education on your portfolio and how to understand crypto investing. You'll get to be a part of a VIP trading group where we talk about trading, but we also talk about crypto investing as well. You're going to be a part of a very inclusive community that loves each other, that uplifts each other, that gives each other great feedback. Invest in your education as well as investing in cryptocurrencies. And that's how you're going to make not just a short-term amount of money, a long-term lifestyle of success. Check out Luxalgo. Check out the Ultimates package. We got a lot of sales this week. This is the week to buy. Otherwise, you don't buy this week, things go right back up. They get back to being semi-expensive. I don't think they're expensive, but there's more expensive than this week. Go act on all of those right now. With that said, though, that's all we have time for today. Thank you to the bots for showing up here for the last 5 minutes of the video. Every view counts. Please don't come again, though. Love the rest of you guys. We'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. The last show of the day. Adios.